Welcome back. Howdy. That's the intro. That's my intro. That's my bread and butter. Alright, I tried to record this video earlier, but I didn't like the way it turned out, so try again. And sorry about the quality of the last video. I have a new editing software, which I don't really know too well, so I have a better understanding of it now, and I think I fixed my camera issues, so hopefully this video turns out super high quality. Enjoy. Today, I want to talk about slow fashion. I know it's like a heavy topic of debate right now. It's very trendy to talk about. Very trendy. But I think the principle of it is important, especially with the current climate, environmental climate, and capitalistic climate. I don't want to get too political because I am not well educated on these subjects. So when people ask me source, my source is my own opinions. So take it with a grain of salt. Whatever I say isn't really fact. It's just my understanding of things and using my philosophy and my understanding of the world and what I know to engage in this discussion or topic. Without further ado, what is slow fashion? I feel like slow fashion is the idea of following fashion, but in a more personable sense. What I mean by that is that, yes, you're aware of trends, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to partake in them. And obviously, the nature of fashion, it is a very consumeristic sort of hobby, and there's really no way around it without consuming. I mean, that's just what we do, you know. As humans, we will always be parasites, pretty much, if you want to be cynical about it. But, so what I'm trying to say is, what slow fashion is trying to do is trying to see that the way that fashion is now, and to take it a step further, and to see what fast fashion is, and to basically do the opposite of that, which is, well, not the opposite, but to consume fashion in a slower sense. That means not buying as much, taking care of your own clothes, buying things that are constructed in a sustainable manner. That means from fabric, material choice, to working conditions, to longevity in your wardrobe. What I mean by that is like buying stuff and keeping it in there for longer periods of time, or maybe even a lifetime. So yeah, I've come up with a list of like 7 points, sort of like tips and tricks of the trade, sort of ideas or talking points that have helped me and maybe can help you as well if you find any of this information informative. So yeah, without further ado, I shall get into my list. So, tip number 1, be materialistic. Now that kind of sounds bad, but I mean materialistic in the sense that you should really value your material possessions. I mean that in the sense of, someone's created this, they put a lot of effort into this. I think on average, a single product goes through 20 different people's hands. And just to be appreciative of that fact and to really see your items as more than just items or possessions. They mean something, whether it be emotionally or, like I said, they've gone through so many hands to get to where they are now. What I'm trying to say is to value your items like they mean a lot to you, because they should. And I think when items mean a lot to you, you take better care of them, you pay more attention to it, and you just every day you're just like, I want to wear this. I love this piece of clothing or item or whatever it is. I love this piece of jewelry. When we value our things, we start to take care of them. I'm not trying to say like flex what you have. I think that's very far from the idea of being materialistic. I mean, we are material people, we're material bodies if you want to talk about philosophy for a little bit, but take it with a pinch of salt, I don't mean like, look at my shit, I have this shit, you don't. Tip number 2 is stay style focused. And I think that's ultimately what slow fashion really is trying to say, is to really build a personal style. I know the word personal style is thrown around a lot, but there is some real meaning to it. I think in terms of slow fashion, the idea of trends isn't something to buy into, but something to take from. Take style and how you style pieces as a focal point, rather than seeing specific items and saying, oh, I need this item because it is trendy, or this is the hot new item. Rather, I think you should see like these new items that are coming out and realize it's a tall boot, for example. Do I have any tall boots? Can I style my tall boots in the same way that people style this in-season tall boot? I think we all know what boot I'm talking about here. Okay, tip number 3, and I know this point is talked about a lot, but it's very simple. Invest in high-quality basics. Basics go a long way. What I mean by basics is plain clothes, basically. You could see yourself wearing every day, and I know some people are quite lenient with saying, oh, I can wear this every day. Be honest with yourself. Can you really wear it every day? And I think a big emphasis I'd like to put on is cut. I feel like a lot of people don't take the cut and how the cut and the silhouette of a garment goes. The point I'm trying to drive home is if you invest in high quality basics that have the exact cut that you want, high quality clothes, they last a lot longer. And if you really like something, you'll want to wear it more and you want to take care of it. So ultimately you end up getting less because you just want to stick to these specific items. And tip number 4, something I do a lot myself, that is to repair and maintain your clothes. Very self-explanatory, that one. If a hole pops up, hand sew it shut, or not a lot of people know this, but you can actually take a scrap piece of fabric or whatever you want, take it to like an alteration place or a tailor, or they'll very cheaply and they will probably love to repair something for you. It's not that difficult. You could probably do it yourself. Just Google it, WikiHow it, you know. It's really not that big of a deal. Other things you could do as well is just you could alter your own garments, whether that be just like cut off a hem to shorten it, or to remove a cuff or remove the collar of a garment. I mean, it goes a long way. I know I personally hate really tight cuffs on my hoodies or my sweatshirts, so I literally just cut them off. I mean, for example, I have this Stotz long sleeve, and the sleeves are actually really long and they stretch out even more, and I really didn't like it, so I actually just altered the sleeve length and shortened it so it fits perfectly. And by doing so, I'm more interested in wearing a particular garment. I want to wear it more and I want to keep it in my closet more, rather than like, oh, it doesn't fit, so I'll just sell it or move on from it, really. And you guys probably know by now, but I love my raw denim. So this is my first ever pair of raw denim. I've had it for like 6 years now, and it's gone through a lot of wear, but I repaired it. There was a blowout that was happening here, which I just darned, and the crotch always blows out on jeans, so I just reinforced it before it did blow out. In terms of repairing, I highly recommend that you repair whatever it is before it becomes too much or it's way harder to repair it. Catch holes early. The point I'm trying to make is when you repair and maintain your clothes, I mean, something as simple as, you know, following washing instructions, making sure not to put things in the dryer or not to dry things in direct sunlight, stuff like that. I know a lot of tags say dry clean only, but the reality is you don't really need to do that. You just really need to put on like a cold wash cycle in your washing machine, or hand wash it even. Even I don't dry clean all my shit. I think that's a bit excessive, but hey, if you do that, more power to you. And then the point I'm trying to make is that by repairing and maintaining your stuff, it stays in your wardrobe a lot longer. And not only that, but I mean, when you do this sort of stuff, you kind of have some history with it, and you can't bear to let it go. Tip number 5, and I think this is actually a really underrated tip, and that is to have a readable and organized wardrobe. What I mean by that is that with whatever wardrobe system you have, whatever way you store your clothes, have it in a way that you can kind of see everything that you own, and by doing that, automatically you're like, oh, this is what I have and this is what I don't have. So in terms of getting new pieces, you will only get things that you kind of see where the gap in your wardrobe is. For example, for me, there was that big Marie Kondo kind of trend of like how she organizes her stuff, and I actually find that really, really useful. I only started doing it like a year ago. I noticed it helped me a ton, more than I thought that it would. But by organizing everything, I can literally see every t-shirt I have, every long sleeve, every jacket, every coat. I open my wardrobe and I'm like, oh, these are the options that I have. I'm not really missing anything. I don't feel like I have nothing to wear. And I think that goes a long way. And like I mentioned, when getting new pieces, because eventually I feel like that always ends up happening, you can sort of see what you have and oppositely what you don't have. And that way, when you buy new pieces, you don't realize, oh, I had this jacket, which is the exact same as the brand new thing I just got. So yeah, I think really underrated. Make sure that you have a readable and organized wardrobe. Tip number 6 is to just trust the process. I feel like a lot of us in fashion are constantly changing, evolving, learning new things, and it's okay to mess up. It's okay to get something and then realize, oh, this isn't what I like. Yeah, sometimes that stuff happens. You know, don't feel like a bad person for buying something and then just end up never wearing it. I mean, I think we're all guilty of it. We'll always make mistakes, so just trust the process and be mindful of the mistakes that you do make and learn from them, and try not to make the same ones again. I know I'm guilty of doing that, but you know, trust the process. Try and consume as slow as possible, but sometimes things happen. And tip number 7, my final tip, is find a community, or at least something like a community. For me, it's honestly making these videos is something like that. A big part of fashion for me is just simply talking about it. And I think for a lot of people, I feel like it is the same for them as well. And by having that sort of outlet of talking about fashion, it's basically half the fun, you know, like getting new stuff, styling new things is also a lot of fun. But like, I feel like talking about it, it sort of distracts us, or it's, I don't know how to word it, but it takes our mind off getting new things, or maybe it helps people process what they want to get next. And it is a lot longer of a process because you are talking about it and you're being so mindful of what you want to get next, and you do so much research because you are talking about it. I think that ultimately ends up making us who are into fashion slow down and being really aware of what we want to get, and what kind of style we want, and what kind of pieces that we want to get, and all that jazz, really. So I think that's all the tips I have for you guys. Do let me know down below in the comments section if you did like this sort of video, or the topic itself, or how you go about slowing down when consuming fashion. I know for me personally, I feel like it was an addiction at one point, getting new stuff, but I think I've cracked the addiction. I'm clean. But yeah, as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this video turns out good. But yeah, if you like the video, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully.